All y'all atheists are woke and encouraging kids to be gender fluid.
Oh boy, let's unpackage this one because this is both true and false depending on how you slice it. First things first, being liberal or woke or believing in trans ideology is something completely separate from being atheist. They are not the same thing. I think what you're doing here is you are mistaking atheism for wokeness. Being atheist doesn't mean that you're woke, and being woke doesn't mean that you're atheist. However, most atheists are woke and most woke people are atheists. I don't have any actual statistics on this, but it's the vast majority. This is something that really bothers me because yes, I am an atheist, but I am not liberal. I am very much conservative, based. And it's because I am based that I am atheist. And it's because I am based that I am conservative and do not accept trans ideology. First and foremost, I am a free thinker, which has led me to be an atheist, which has led me to be conservative. I've said this before, but my goal is not to tell you what to think, but to tell you how to think. Because there is a correct way of thinking that will most accurately get you towards accepting and knowing what is true. You need to have critical thinking skills, knowing how to reason. You also need to understand logic and fallacies. But most of all, most importantly, you need to not have cognitive dissonance and you need to be honest and sincere with yourself. Unfortunately, most people have an agenda for believing what they do, and they will do whatever mental gymnastics they need to do in order to make what they want to believe make sense. Most champions of the right that use facts and logic to argue for conservatism are also religious. People like Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk. They make logically sound arguments backed up by facts, which is what's convinced me that the conservative position is the correct one. But then they bring God into it, which is completely unnecessary because the argument was already completely sound. If only they applied the same standards of reasoning to their religion, then they would no longer be religious. The same is true for the champions of atheism, although not to the same degree. The only example that I can say for certain that you've probably also heard of is Matt Dillahunty. This is quite ironic because he was one of the key figures that taught me how to think and reason correctly. He uses logic and reason to quite clearly show that the religious position doesn't make sense. But he also thinks that men can get pregnant. When it comes to that, he throws logic and reason out the window and denies basic human biology. What it really comes down to is you need to be honest with yourself. Do you believe this because it's true, or do you believe it and justify it in whatever way possible because you want it to be true?